swimming clothes. How many chances would be taken in my hopeless pursuit of the Schneemädel-Edelweiss? Then spoke a spirit, if you would win your lady love, there's only one way, fall to your death from high above. You will begin to grow in snow beside the one you have waited for to be mated with. Now I'm an Edelweiss to my maidel Edelweiss, dying to be with her wasn't any sacrifice. We're so deliriously happy on our ledge, where I pledge my love to my lady fair. You who are climbing breathless to see me and my love, snow flowers growing fonder on lover's ledge above. If you've the yen to pluck, then pluck us both, for we who have lived as one wish to die as one.
That was the song High on a Rocky Ledge by the artist Moondog. It's a song I discovered probably about a year ago, and it quickly became my favorite song for about the span of 6 months. It's actually the first time I've listened to it in probably about 4, maybe 5 months. I guess just kind of how music works, you know. It's about a young man who is climbing a cliff, because at the top of the cliffside holds a beautiful woman, maybe a beauty that is not defined conventionally. It's left up to a bit of the interpretation. However, no matter how high he climbs, he can never quite get there. He's then told that if he really wants this love of his, then he has to jump off the cliff, cast himself off, and when he lands, he will find himself with his love. And so he does. And he does. It's a beautiful song. I love it. I always love it. I've chosen to interpret it a bit loosely. I don't find it a story of love per se. Well, at least love of person. I believe it's a song of passion. And when we have passion, we have the woman of high above that we love so deeply. Attaining it is only done through sacrifice. And not simple sacrifice, but full-fledged sacrificing of oneself, of one's being, in order to claim it. I am not a painter. I can't paint. I can't draw. I think it's something to do, again, with my brain moving too fast, but it's on a physical level, too. My hands shake. They shake a lot. I've never been able to hold anything steady for too long. I don't know if it's a physical ailment, if it's just simply part of who I am. Part of moving too fast is the need to constantly be vibrating at the earth. Maybe that's just me screaming. Whatever it is, it's cursed me with an inability to draw the simplest of images. I like drawing, I do. I just never really see much of a point to it, and I don't see myself ever getting any better. So I write instead. I like to write out my ideas and my illustrations. I think it's more gratifying to write out something and have it actually be what's in my head than draw something and have it come out shoddy. I don't write much. Not much long form, not anything very tangible. I like to jot down sentences that are short. Little stories that are told in 3, maybe 4 words. Things that don't have much of a point. Things that just pop into my brain. That's all my brain really has time for is 3 or 4 words. I do write plays if I can, but I haven't been able to finish many. I finished 2 plays in my lifetime. Well, I believe there's a third one I wrote when I was maybe 14, possibly 15. That was shit. It's a shit play. It's lost, and I will never rewrite it, and I will never talk to anyone about it, because it's simply awful. It was horribly sexist. Horribly written women characters, only written to appeal as a sense of waking up and realizing that the men in their lives are who they really love, and all they need to be completed with is this connection. I wrote it shortly after my very first rejection. It's a bit of a sad story. Well, sad in that I was a antagonist who did not realize just how antagonistic he was. I liked a girl. I didn't know her. I didn't talk to her, but I liked her, because when you're a boy and you're young, that's all you think you need. You don't think you need to know a woman's personality. You don't think you need to know their interests. You don't need to know what it's like to talk to them. They just need to seem pretty. And they just need to seem compatible. That's how it works. Sometimes I wonder if that's still how it works for me. I hope it's not. I'm antisocial. Very, very antisocial. I find talking to strangers on the same level as a boxing match. I stand there and my brain just races. Because it's a fast brain, as we've been over, but it's time. It's racing to find a book that isn't there in a library that has been vacated of all thought and feeling. And I am running through empty bookshelves trying to find a single sentence that I can fabricate and stretch and tweak into a conversation. But even that is too much to ask from me. And I end up eventually just standing there, smiling like an idiot. Not to say that smiling is idiotic, that the smile I make is idiotic. It is a smile of a person who is fully aware that what he is doing is a failure, fully accepting that he has failed to do one of society and culture's most basic requirements, which is just simply to be social and have and continue a conversation with a perfectly decent human being. And I can't do that. So I didn't ever have a conversation with this first girl. No, I wrote her a letter. Because I like to write. I didn't draw her a drawing. If I drew her a drawing, I doubt I ever would have gotten past the first section. And of course, I didn't put my name down. Because if I put my name down, we'd have to talk. So I figured I would write her a secret admirer letter because I thought that was something that is acceptable. Something romantic. It's an idiotic concept. There is no long-term solution to it. If I was too afraid to reveal my feelings with my identity to that person, then when they find out, there's just simply no way it could possibly resolve itself. But I'm 15. Maybe even 14 at this point. I don't quite remember when this happened. And I don't know jack shit about the world. More importantly, I know jack shit about girls. I had a crush on one girl before I asked this girl out. One. I very, very seldomly talked to girls. They found me eccentric. Because was an eccentric person to a degree. I'm still an eccentric person. But now I know when to shut the fuck up. So she liked the first letter, which is good. I am a very affectionate person in written form. I'm by myself quite capable of saying nice things if I can write it on paper. It's one of my strengths I find in myself. And she was intrigued. And she was interested, and she had questions, and I answered those questions, and those questions revealed who I was, and once she knew that it was me and not the boy she really liked, she quickly turned me down. Now, when one is rejected, you should understand what rejection really means, and unless given indiscriminable evidence that feelings have changed or adjusted, you need to give up. Guess what I did not do? I asked her out again, and a second time. It was pathetic, really. I was not charismatic. I was depressing. And I couldn't get a hint, and I made this woman's life hell for at least a year, if not 2 years. That's when I got my first girlfriend, and that's a whole nother story of my extreme incompetence, ineptitude, and utter, sorry, a fly almost flew in my mouth, utter deplorable behavior of my past. I wonder if this is typical human behavior. If I really am a below average, decent human being, or if I'm just simply making mistakes that have been made before me. I wonder this a lot. I am unsure if I am a good person or not. I'm liked. I know I am liked. But people liked Hitler for a long time, didn't they? Almost, 1933 and 1945? It's a lot of people. Over 10 years. I've been well liked for, I want to say probably I was starting to become a very well-liked person around the age of 13. Before, I was more of an afterthought of a person. I had my moments. People knew me. People were not against me. Different, maybe. Growing up as a child, friends are hard to make when conversations is a literal fight. but I'm 22 now, and if I started being liked when I was 13, the way I see it, I'll know if I am a good person, if I can remain well liked until I am 24. No, 25. 26, actually. That's 1 year longer than Hitler was in power in Germany from 1933 to 1945. That's 12 years. 12 years plus 13 is 25. So if I can go 13 years of general well-likedness around me, I would feel comfortable knowing that I am a good person. Of course, I'll never actually feel comfortable with that, because I'm going to keep hurting people around me. I do hurt people. I've just really become more cognizant of who I hurt, how I hurt, and why I hurt. It's left an interesting side effect on my mental projection of myself. When I see myself in my mind now, the right side of my face is decrepit. So I'm a picture of Dorian Gray and Two-Face from Batman. It's a scarred, burned, charred piece of flesh. Wicked and wild. No real sense of humanity is left there anymore. My eyes swollen shut. My mouth is burnt away into a permanent evil smile because there are no lips to cover my teeth. That's how I feel about myself, based on the things I've done. I suppose it's better to have a more negative opinion of oneself than to be an egomaniac. Of course, I am a bit of a sociopath. I've always felt it, and I wonder exactly what it means to be sociopathic. I am not a full-fledged one. In fact, it's probably quite harmful to make that comparison to the real people who suffer from that mental illness. I'm selfish, to a degree. I am very internal in my needs and my wants, and human affection, human contact is wonderful, but ultimately secondary to my own base needs. I can survive alone in the dark with my thoughts and forms of stimulation. If there was a second person there, I'd inevitably start ignoring them as they'd done their use. Sometimes I wonder if this is how I treat my girlfriend. I feel bad about it because I love her, and I want to show her that I love her. I want to be a happy and social butterfly and always have things to talk about and always be willing and ready to just simply be in the moment with her. I love it when we do, and it's what I want. But sometimes my brain just shuts down, and I have to sit there and wonder, what's it gonna take to turn the gears again? Will it be enough? Am I enough? I haven't been to the zoo in a while. I like the zoo. There's one in my town. It's a wonderful zoo. There's a penguin exhibit. My girlfriend loves it. She isn't here right now to come see it. She's not from here. She's from the place that I went to school at. And I'm over here. But she's visited and she's seen the zoo. We have good times at the zoo. We get to watch the animals. We get to make jokes about them. We get to talk about how cute they are. It's always wonderful. Always fun at the zoo. She loves aquariums a bit more, I would say. She's got a favorite aquarium in her home. region, not quite her hometown, but hometown adjacent. And she loves that aquarium. I love the aquarium too. I love spending time over there. Life can't be an aquarium though, can it? I can't spend every waking second having fun at the aquarium, having things to point out and observe and talk about. Eventually I'm just stuck in a sense of stagnancy, because eventually it'll be a room where it's just her and me, and I don't have external things to shield my lack of social improvisation. And I'm stuck there, scrambling in an empty bookshelf, looking for a word, just as simple as that, something that can trigger a longer conversation, a spark for a campfire. But there's no spark to be found. There just is not. So I write, because it seems easier to talk to a piece of paper, because a piece of paper doesn't care what you say. A piece of paper doesn't care about the kind of idea of a conversation, because it can't talk back. Maybe that's why I whisper to Otto when I'm feeling anxious or depressed. Why I tell him things that I don't really tell anyone else, because I'm not afraid of what will be said. Because I don't know how to explain what it means to feel like I am totally and utterly a dud in the world. That I will never be looked at as a serious artist, as a serious candidate for a simple job, artistic or administrative. I am not even average, and you need to be well above average to get anywhere. And of course I can't tell people this, because I am me. People like me. People believe I am destined for good things, but no one actually wants to be the one that gives me the chance. And I am simply stuck in a spider's web. But that's enough about me for today. I want to talk about something else now. I've only got a bit more. I'll try to make these a little under 30 minutes if I can, but we've got some time to talk about something else. I read a lot of comics as well. Sometimes I'm envious. Wish I was that good a drawer, an illustrator, I believe is the correct term. I read a lot of Alan Moore. I read some of the conventional, the DC and the Marvel. Actually, I don't read a lot of Marvel. I don't care for Marvel's comics. I like their movies, but I like Batman. But I like Watchmen the most. I think it's a bit of a cliche. Everybody loves Watchmen. It's on a top 100 novels list for New York Times or some shit like that. Everybody loves Watchmen. But I really love it. I love it because it is a narrative of sheer vulnerability. There is nothing that is being addressed that is not connected to how vulnerable a human being can be. And these are superheroes, where in that genre, the concept of invulnerability is almost essential for any success. They're inspirational supermen that conquer all the odds because they believe in truth, justice, and the American way. And no matter what, they will persevere. Not because they are simply better, superior, genetically enhanced creatures that can conquer all odds, but because they have the willpower, the virtue, the respect, the ability to resist temptation and to overcome insecurity. I'm a Watchman. Sexual impotence, alcoholism, post-traumatic stress, parental abuse, narcissism and sociopathic behavior, sheer apathy at the destruction of the world. These are vulnerabilities. I've felt some of them, not all, some. And I feel at home. I feel at home knowing that I can be a superhero if I need to. I can put a cape on, I can fight some bad guys. I'll probably get my ass kicked, probably die in the streets with a knife wound in my frickin' neck. Because I'm not actually athletic or combat trained or have any real sense of strategy, and I don't have the patience to wait for my opportunity because I'm so goddamn fast. But even the Flash knows when to slow the fuck down. Not me, though. Not me. I said I was going to talk about myself. I guess there's not much else to talk about. I don't want to talk about other people. This isn't about them, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm going to talk about them, and then they're going to hear it. Oh, I know. There's no one fucking listening. No one this far. If I get a view, I'm gonna get maybe 5 minutes in. This is boring shit. Who the hell is listening to me venting my ideas and frustrations and insecurities? There is no more Brecht in the world. There's not. The world is too hardened. It's been, calcified. There's too much need to always be correct, to always be perfect. You need to have the answer, and you need to be ready. Now, Brecht did have the answer. He did. Brilliantly, always had it. But he had an answer that wasn't anyone else's answer. He was able to hand it off and change the very questions that were being asked. I don't have the energy to change questions. I'm not ready to put up a fight. I'm not ready to argue with anyone about anything. I don't have the bookshelf for it.